Hello, people. Um, so this is a very unorthodox way of making this video. Right off the bat, you're gonna be like, "Hey, he's something's different." Well, I got a new computer first of all, and it doesn't have an integrated webcam like my old one used to have. So I need to get a webcam actually for my computer, which I've not done yet. So right now, I'm recording this off of my phone. So yeah, that's why the screen probably looks a little smaller. The audio quality is probably gonna be a lot badder, more bad. I don't know. I haven't listened to it yet. But anyway, we're not here to talk about technology. We're here to talk about a movie that when I heard about it, was pretty interested. I would say hype, but that'd be kind of a lie. But I was interested because the title of the movie caught my eye, and the movie in question is Gran Turismo. You know, the racing games, the games where the cars go, the type of franchise you would never expect a movie from. It got a movie. And when I heard about it, I was like, this can't be real. There's no way. Then it dropped in theaters, and I was like, wow. I actually never saw this in theaters because work. My adult fans out there, I don't know. Work can be pretty intrusive, so I did not get a chance to experience this in theaters. I did, however, buy it for DVD when I saw it at my grocery store. I was like, I gotta get it. So I watched it, and well, give my little opinion on it. I would say spoiler warning, but I don't know. It's like I don't feel like there's enough in the movie to warrant a spoiler warning for reasons I'll get into later. But anyway, what did I think about this movie? Well, first of all, I went into this movie with two mindsets. The first mindset was of the average moviegoer. Could this movie be good to somebody who doesn't know a lot about racing, doesn't know what Gran Turismo even means? They just want to watch it because it might be a good movie. The second mindset I went in with is the perspective of somebody who knows Gran Turismo, who likes Gran Turismo, who's been a fan of Gran Turismo since, well, for me it'd be the early 2000s, but other people would be like the 1900s. But a Gran Turismo fan, that's the second perspective. So I watched it in those two lights. I didn't watch it two separate times. I watched it once with those two mindsets. So we're going to start from the average moviegoer mindset. Could this movie be good for somebody who just wants a feel good movie? Yes. I'm going to say hesitant yes, because this kind of goes into my whole gripe with the whole movie. I'm sorry, but as a whole, I this movie didn't do it for me. I'm sorry, but it's only because it's aside from the Gran Turismo name, obviously, which immediately catches people's eyes. It's like, oh my gosh, Gran Turismo! It's like one of the biggest racing sims for the PlayStation. It's just your typical underdog turns number one story in a movie. You know what I mean? So the story of the movie is that this is based on a true story of this guy. I think his name is Yan Martinborough. I don't know if I'm saying that last name right, but we'll call him Yan. About this guy named Yan who has been a fan of Gran Turismo for a while now. He's played games religiously. Well, not religiously, but he's played them a lot, and he's pretty darn good at what he does. He ends up getting the chance of a lifetime, which is he participates in a little exhibition where he goes up against other players, and who should ever win gets a chance to participate in the Gran Turismo Academy, which was a real thing in real life. And of course, Yan being the main character, he wins and he gets to go to GT Academy. From there, he is then trained by some old guy who used to be a racer on how to drive actual race cars. And the whole thing is like, oh, he just plays video games. There's no way he could actually learn how to drive a real car. And to that extent, I agree. Like, Like what? I play Gran Turismo a lot. There's no way I'm gonna get into like a modern day GT3 car and just start blasting lap times like it's no. Like that's the mentality is that there's no way a person that plays sim racing could ever perform with a real race car. And of course, Yan is there to say, "Y'all don't know what you're talking about. I can do this easily." And the sequence of the training is nice. I did enjoy that. I like the cars, although I wish they used different cars instead of just the Nissan GTR. But then again, this was a thing sponsored by Nissan, so of course, product placement. But I did like that sequence. But again, it looks nice. It's cool, but it's that typical underdog turns hero story, and it's because it's like, oh, Jan's like has this passion for something he likes to do, but oh, what's this? His parents or his father thinks it's a waste of time, and he should go out and get a real job or something. Then Jan's like, but Dad, this is what I want to do. I like this. And your dad, the dad's like, no, it's not gonna get you anywhere in life because I'm obviously know everything about life, and I know all about people's passions. What? But of course, the mother's all supportive and like, oh, go live your dreams. So don't let other people bring you down. It's like, hey, I'm gonna do it, and he does it. Go figure. He's pretty darn bad at it, but he believes in himself hard enough and develops plot armor and wins. That's the whole movie essentially. Oh, there's also some girl or some in it too that he's attracted to. They never do much of anything to introduce her. She just kind of appears. I don't even remember her name. But but yes, I just summed up the whole movie essentially. Like I said, it's your typical underdog to hero story. I keep throwing that term around. That's how I feel it is. And for the average moviegoer, if you're just looking for something to watch, I mean, like I said, it looks great. The cars sound great. I would say give it a try. That's from the average moviegoer's perspective. From a Gran Turismo fan's perspective, this should not have been called Gran Turismo. The reason I say it is not because the movie sucked. It's fine and it's fine. It's not good, it's not bad, it's fine. But the reason I say it should not have been called Gran Turismo is because it's clearly more focused on Gran Turismo Academy. And I think that's what the movie should have been called. It's Gran Turismo Academy, not just Gran Turismo. Because when you name it Gran Turismo, I'm expecting like some documentary on like the history of Gran Turismo and how it came to be and all that stuff and the developmental processes and how they got everything. That's when you call it Gran Turismo. That's what I expect to watch, not some story about some guy who played Gran Turismo and became a professional race car driver, which of course he's living every gamer's dream. But call it Gran Turismo Academy because that's clearly where the focus is on this movie. It's not so much Gran Turismo, although it is a part of it and it is what kickstarts everything that happens. It's the academy they focus on the most, and I think that's what it should have been called. Uh, Other than that, though, yeah, I mean, the movie was average. It was average. For a movie called Gran Turismo, I kind of expected a little bit more appreciation towards Gran Turismo, not just. It almost kind of felt like when I first watched it that it was more so just a passing name, just so people don't forget what they're watching. I mean, again, they focus on the academy so much that it should have been Gran Turismo Academy, not Gran Turismo. But again, that's just me. That's just a nitpick on my end. Again, like I said, went in with two mindsets. The first of being an average moviegoer, which this movie is, okay. You can watch it. You don't have to know anything about Gran Turismo. Just watch it. It's a typical car racing movie. But on the other side of the spectrum, from a Gran Turismo fan's perspective, that okay turns to fine because there's nothing really there to grab me. When I see Gran Turismo, you have to understand, Gran Turismo has been a part of my life since I was like a little boy. It's been a part of my life ever since then. So when I see a movie about it, I go in with some sort of expectation, like, okay, this is what it's going to be. Now I know that's probably not the right thing to do. Like, you shouldn't go into a movie expecting this or expecting that because you're going to get disappointed when you don't get those things. But darn it, for something called it's just a typical racing movie. It's just Gran Turismo. They could have called this Mario Kart or something. I don't know, but it's just a typical racing story. Like, you ever watch Ford versus Ferrari? That's what it should. That's what Gran Turismo should have been. Like, that's what it should have been like. Ford versus Ferrari. Ford versus Ferrari is a very good movie, and I highly recommend it if you're into cars. But this, it needs more work. It needs more work. What you get here is good. Like, this is good stuff, but it needs more work. From a Gran Turismo fan's opinion and point of view, it needs more work if it's going to be called Gran Turismo. Otherwise, just call it Gran Turismo Academy. But for an average person going in the movies, then it's passable. Watch it. You may not watch it again, but watch it. You might like it. But other than that, there's not really much I could say about it. It's like there's nothing that made me so, oh, I hated it, or oh, that was the best thing ever. Like, no, like I watched it and could like accurately guess what was gonna happen. That's how tired and repeated this type of storytelling is for these types of movies. It's like, oh, you look at Yan, it's like, oh, he's gonna be the underdog, turn hero, isn't he? You look at the friggin' uh old dude that teaches him how to be a racer. He's like, oh, he's gonna have some like backstory as to why he doesn't race anymore. It's gonna be like, oh, we feel sympathy for him. Bring out the violins, and then we have some generic, pompous, overly cocky villain who's like, yeah, sim racers, yeah, they suck. You know what's gonna let them win. Yeah, we're the best because you know we're the real race cars. I don't know. It's like it's just your typical plot, people. Like, don't go into this expecting Gran Turismo quality, is what I'm going to say. Do not expect Gran Turismo quality from this movie. You will be severely disappointed and left hating this. Go into this expecting a typical, generic, underdog racer story. And from there, it's fine. When you go into it expecting Gran Turismo quality, oh, it's going to be disappointing. You are going to be disappointed. Let me tell you, you're going to be disappointed. The Gran Turismo fan in me was kind of disappointed watching it. I was like, what? That's it? That's all we're getting from a Gran Turismo movie? I mean, I guess, but I really didn't think they should have been called like. I'm beating a dead horse. This is how you know I have nothing to talk about on this movie, but it really should not have been called Gran Turismo. I'm sorry. I'm going to keep saying it should not have been called Gran Turismo. It should have been called Gran Turismo Academy because that's what they focus on. Darn it. There are two differences. There's a distinct difference when you call something like if I name I'm trying to think here on top of my head. Oh, the Mario Brothers movies. There's when you call the live action one, Super Mario Brothers, people are gonna expect Super Mario Brothers quality. When you watch the live action one and learn that it has very little to nothing to do with the Mario Brothers, um, then you're like, why did they call it this? It's like, well, don't call it that if you're not gonna stay faithful to the source material. Obviously, like I say, Gran Turismo is a racing simulator. It's called the Real Driving Simulator. It's a racing game. So there's not really much you can take from a racing. There's no plot, there's no villain, there's no struggles, there's no nothing. It's you buy the game, you load up career, buy a car, and win races. That's all you do. So there's not much depth to it. But I mean, come on. there could have been more. There could have been a little more. I mean, again, I honestly would have appreciated it being a sort of documentary on how Gran Turismo was created and all that stuff to where it is now. I would have appreciated that more, and then calling it Gran Turismo would have made sense. But when you present this to me, it really should have been called Gran Turismo Academy. I'm sorry, but I mean, like I said, the cars look great. I liked it. It's a shame the only real Gran Turismo game to get any sort of passing mention is Gran Turismo 7. Uh, I kind of wish the other ones got a little nod in there too, but they only make a certain cameos and whatnot at the very beginning, and you wouldn't really know it. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, my overall opinion on this movie is eh. It's just eh. Did I really need to wait to watch it? Uh, I mean, honestly, I don't know. Like I said, you can watch this or not. You're really not missing anything. You're better off watching stuff like Ford versus Ferrari again. But this is just your typical underdog story, and it's like if you love those types of stories, then oh boy, you're gonna love Gran Turismo because not only is it that story, but it also involves high-speed cars. But if you're tired of that trope, then I'm sorry, but Gran Turismo is not for you. But yeah, so this is gonna be a much shorter video as a result because again, this is a movie about a racing simulator. There's nothing really to talk about plot wise other than go read up on Jan Mardenboroug's story to get the full extent, figure out how accurate or inaccurate this movie truly is. But yeah, other than that, you're probably better off not watching it, or I don't know. For me, I watched it once, maybe once in the blue moon. I'll pop it in to watch it again to see if it grows on me. But this isn't something I'm gonna like watch every night. No, it's not. It's just not. It's just not. I'm sorry, but yeah. So that's pretty much all I got. Like I said, no actual webcam. This is all on my phone. Until I get a webcam for my computer, which is actually right next to me, but I don't feel like moving my phone to show you it, so you have to be left in suspense on what it looks like. Uh, yeah, I don't really have anything else to say about it. If I had to give this a ranking, which I don't do at all for these type of videos, I'd probably give this 7 out of 10. I mean, I see the effort, I see the work. The movie's not terrible. It is not terrible, but man, if you're gonna call it Gran Turismo, do a little more, or just rename it to Gran Turismo Academy. I'm sorry, but that's my opinion. It's repetitive, I know, but who cares? This is my video. If you don't like it, then I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. This is probably again, probably most bland, boring, and shortest review video I've done of a movie because again, there's no plot to it. There's no plot. So, oh well. Anyway, that's gonna do it for this. And I will see you next time for whatever that is because I don't know what it's gonna be. I don't have any plans for these videos, so whatever I decide to record next, I'll see you for it. Until then, peace.